right now with Navori in the state that it's in. Just synergizes so well with Blade Caller. Always a fan of seeing that because you are also preemptively guarding yourself against enemy dive. So even if you know, hey, we're giving over, hard engage like Sejuani or something, having that anti-dive AD carry always gives that extra modicum of safety.
Santorin going stock standard right here. We'll take the Sejuani. We'll get paired alongside it. It's going to be the Aphelios. I always want some level of heal coming out for the Aphelios to get some protection to get towards those later stages. But that will be the duo right now for Dignitas, Sejuani, as well as Aphelios.
So, in my eyes, there are 3 good supports for Aphelios. Thresh, Lulu, and Renata. And it comes down to what style of bottom lane do you have, do you want to play, and how does your team want to play these team fights for later? Probably the most common is the Thresh, because obviously the Lantern, that gives you that knee-jerk safety that you're talking about. Plus it can be used later in the game for saving people from split pushing, trailing people down lanes and stuff like that. But some of the craziest, most aggressive ones, especially if you are looking at Xayah, Rakan, and counter engage, are the other 2 options that I mentioned. They're definitely more risky, but I really am still a big fan of the Lulu buff up with it. But there we go.
I'm a bigger fan of the Thresh. We've had too much time with Enchanter supports. I'm done with them. I'm done with them, Kobe. I welcome Thresh back into our life, and that's what we're going to get right there. Ignar will be playing that champion. Ignar can facilitate a lot of those bigger engages for Dignitas, especially alongside Santorin. It's one thing Santorin was really wanting to have Ignar on that team when he had those visa issues coming through. So you get some great engage coming out for Dignitas if they want to use the death sentence that way. Of course, great peel for Tomo.
Yeah, the adjustments they made to Thresh with cooldown on Q and being able to almost death sentence into another death sentence later in the game with enough ability.
It never ends.
Definitely gets very annoying. Since there's no, since Gragas is such a flex pick here, Dignitas covering for the flex to jungle. Could be Contractz. He's definitely a very good Gragas player. But of course, this champion can flex into 4 different roles. Probably even 5 now that we buffed Senna, and you can throw in some crazy other things there. So they are covering their bases here, banning out the Vi as not wanting to deal with that on Aphelios, even with the Thresh Lantern.
Just go wild, Dignitas. You know, it is what it is. You've ended up where you are. Just go wild with this draft. Blow me away. Get something spicy going on the Rift. We got one more ban to come out from Counter Logic Gaming. We'll see what those final picks are going to be so far. Bot lane, as well as potentially the jungle for CLG. Same thing matched over on Dignitas as we still wait for those solo lanes.
And the Aurelion Sol is still available. This is something CLG embraced really quickly, really early on. And Aurelion Sol worries about stuff with early pressure on him, so you can try and get the most out of the early stages before the dragon is allowed to scale. They double ban here to do a little bit of protection. If CLG do go for it, it would probably have to be blind, as I assume Dignitas want to keep mid for countering the possible Aurelion Sol. And they do just that. They force Armut to blind on top side. He opts for the Renekton. The most popular top lane blind at the moment globally. And will it be CLG? Does Palafox, with just the bans of Syndra and Taliyah, feel like that is enough to protect himself? You have to figure Dig have prepared for this, and they saw the 2 bans and they're like, you know what? We're cool with it. If you blind pick it, Jensen's got something special. And I really hope it is something special. I hope it's something based off kill pressure early, because if we can see this coming, they can see it coming, and they definitely can prep for it.
They very much need to, because once the skies descend, it is so hard to stop an Aurelion Sol. It's kind of nutty what this champion is able to do on the Rift. A lot of people not shy to say he's just outright busted, but this next locked in for Contractz, we want some carry jungling. It's going to come out of the Viego.
Love it. Viego, a lot of people focused on the crit buffs improvement, but really the big percentage damage for his ultimate is what's boosting him back in, because you actually have execution threat with your ultimate back now. And that also lets you live the fantasy of getting multiple R resets and executing multiple people. As you said, Contractz, he's a fighter down to his last little grains of being, and so he's down to scrap at any and all times. Definitely a Viego player to boot. So the Cassiopeia, interesting option into Aurelion Sol, because you can definitely abuse him a little bit earlier on, especially if you have Sejuani ganking, because Sejuani gank with Arctic Assault into the miasma to ground the Aurelion Sol so he can't W out.
Yeah.
Is definitely a lot of early pressure. Plus, Cassio also
Can we make?
All right, let's get on to the Rift. Aurelion Sol picked again. CLG, they can't stop picking the OP. I heard that one. Collect some Stardust.
Yep.
Let's see it. And something CLG have done is not pick a bunch of other losing lanes with the Aurelion Sol has been key for them. And picking some areas where they can get aggressive. Bottom side moving in with the sweeper here for Poome. Able to see that nobody from Dignitas poking around.
I always get excited when I see a Viego. When we get him in the NACL, carry jungling is, how do I put this? It takes your breath away, man. It is so fast, intense, and crazy just how much a lot of our junglers over there are willing to do. Contractz, as I said, CLG, everyone has played over in the Academy season. Contractz during his time with Evil Geniuses Academy, so I got to have a lot of fun over there. And now seeing him on the Viego, personally, Kobe, I don't get to be on the stage too often, so I like to reminisce here and there from seeing my old players up here on stage.
Hell yeah, want to see them succeed. And Contractz has been pretty volatile as far as junglers go. So Viego encapsulates that. It's a volatile jungler. You can either end up being useless this game or end up getting those multi-kill resets. I would like to see him try and concentrate on the bottom side personally, lending some more threat to Xayah Rakan lane, pressuring Ignar and Tomo. If they can do that, especially early on, it sets CLG up for a really nice win con later where Palafox scaling should be able to bring home the biscuit.
How are they supposed to win if they don't even coordinate jerseys, Kobe?
I'm a big fan of the CLG red ones. The CLG red hoodie actually is the softest hoodie that I own, and thus it is my most used. Here we go.
Already cleansing away the death sentence. Luger will escape that, but here comes Contractz. Won't get the stun onto Ignar. The knock-up is found onto Tomo. Will have to burn flash to get to safety.
We ask and we shall receive.
Yup, bot lane.
We look for bottom lane aggression from Contractz, and we get it. 30 seconds later. Now, though, counter from Santorin.
Yeah, Santorin walking into this brush, not realizing that someone else is waiting for you. Contractz will take a little bit of a skirmish right there, but no one willing to continue that for too long.
So, not so much of a punish because Jensen wasn't able to push quick enough. If Jensen had been able to push that mid wave harder, that could have been an actual really punishing brush sneak attack from Santorin, trying to set up and get the stun onto Contractz, lock him down, but Palafox had done good enough a job of holding that minion wave, so Jensen was not able to come over, and it just turns out that Contractz was able to burn the bottom summoner spells without actually having to pay the price of getting behind in camps or losing anything significant himself. So Contractz feels very good about that exchange, actually. Palafox himself, though, gonna have to teleport back. Oh, cancels it.
Good place to play around. Santorin now focusing onto this bottom side, following up what we had just seen from Contractz. Not spotted out in the tri-bush currently. Trying to sneak around right now as they crash this wave into the tower. Santorin will not waste too much time in that direction. Just get the crash and get out.
I think his main priority is that defensive ward right there, because the dive on them is so dangerous, and so he actually spends a lot of time just to go down, put this ward, looking for the repeat gank from Contractz after his bottom lane got all of their summoner spells blown. I do like the play from Santorin, even though it does cost him, and Sejuani is going to be a little bit behind Viego. He does steal away Raptor's number 2 after getting the defensive ward on bottom side. They'll also know when Contractz goes for Krug's #2, whether Contractz is either ganking bottom or if he continues up towards mid lane.
And we are getting some resets in the bottom lane. Tomo's already taken one. But was able to purchase that pickaxe. Oh, Poome. A little bit late right there. Will not be able to take the enhanced recall alongside.
Left at the altar.
Shame, shame. That's the way it is. No, Poome. Got to talk about Luger about that.
We see the cracks in the Xayah Rakan relationship starting to form already.
We got our own drama on the rift.
Now, will they survive this? I think if they get a kill on bottom side, that'll definitely do it for themselves. Contractz.
Best man Contractz.
Did he find that ward? He found the ward. He sweepered. He sweepered and found the ward. CLG. I don't know if they caught sight of Santorin or if they just assumed it because Santorin was staying on the bottom half of the map that there was going to be a ward in there, but that's great stuff for CLG to sniff it out.
Best man Contractz. We're sticking with it right now. Ignar trying to stick on Contractz as well. Lantern goes out. Tomo under pressure, doesn't have the flash. Dead to rights. Luger will grab first blood. Returned on the opposite end. Jensen will take down Contractz.
So the good news is, Xayah and Rakan, they're going to be married forever. They're going to last the test of time. You get a kill in the bottom lane, and that's a good relationship. Bad news is, it cost them Contractz' life because that's where Dig put all of their other resources. With Ignar roaming away, they actually did kill off the Viego here with the mid.
This drama's getting spicy, Kobe.
Surprise.
I like this. Way to keep this for a script. It's award-winning. Take a look at the map right now. Santorin does have some control over the dragon. We'll try and establish that. Let's take a look at Tomo. Flashless got out.
I love it. You know, they take the initiative here because at the same time, you can see on the minimap, the play mid, Contractz called, hey, Ignar's here. As soon as he places this control ward, Ignar's here, and he dodges the hook. Yeah, he dodges the hook, but they still follow up on him with the lantern for Santorin and the flash. But as soon as he made that call, hey, Ignar is mid, boom, Luger, no hesitation. They flash in onto Tomo on bottom side, blade collar, and kill secured.
That's money over to the Xayah. CLG trying to actuate their AD carry, get that marksman rolling and running. And Santorin wants to stop that, now paying a visit over towards the spot side river once again. Behind the dragon pit, does see that ward over there, but a control ward will deny the vision. Starting up the dragon will be Santorin.
Honestly, I feel like CLG could fight it, even though there's a really big wave. I wonder if they want to try and contest. Contract moves over, and mid wave is also pushed. I guess they give it up. Yeah, Jensen gonna be able to push on mid. Bottom side moved in. Nice move here from Dig, taking advantage of the timing window. Dragon secured.
Ooh, Ignar, death sentence over the wall, but only for harassment. To let CLG know that that river is not their property. First strike will go over to Dignitas.
All right, so it should probably just be a topside reset for Santorin. Maybe you even look for linking up with Renekton. Santorin does not have flash, but he should be close to level 6. He should be like one camp away from level 6 right now. If he gets red buff, gets level 6, ganks topside, that could even set them up to continue controlling these neutral objectives. Rift Herald spawns 8 minutes in here, and with CLG making a bottom side play, Dignitas are going to want to get something back on the other half of the map.
Be careful. Tomo's flash is back up now, and there's the Thresh, so you always have the lantern. It's gonna make it a little bit harder to gank this bottom lane, so Contractz instead. We'll take that recall, not waste too much time there. But you said it, Kobe. Level 6 for Santorin means he has that ultimate to lock down Glacial Prison.
All right, well, they're gonna play it cautiously, just clear out a little bit of vision, and Armut's gonna go for the recall into teleport, I assume. Rift Herald is up, and it is looking juicy. Bottom side. Okay, CLG, bottom side push. Gonna allow them the early rotation. That thing's in turret, so it means their bottom lane gets the early move up the river. Since Dig didn't jump on it in the top side possibility, CLG will be happy to rotate their bottom lane up. Look at this, Xayah's going back down already.
Oh, and Dig might want to fight this. Yeah, looking to take it right now. Body slam comes out from Dhokla to hold the line. guys to send. Still looking for more is going to be Armut. Gets critically low. Dhokla will take a whole chunk out of him. Poome on retreat, and Dignitas, they call the play, and they fight CLG away.
Yeah, they sent Xayah back down bottom. CLG could have hard committed to it, but Luger goes back down bottom, and then Ignar comes over, even though it's a little bit delayed. That Dignitas focus fire there. Annihilate Dhokla. They force Contractz out. They claim the Rift Herald. Dignitas looking to double their win today.
You gave him the secret. Beat CLG. Well, all right. 500 gold lead
Great
so
coaching
far.
going on today. Nuke just told Closer, hey, time to smurf, and then he did. 100 Thieves get the win. Now Dignitas just looking like they are going to control the early game at the very least. Dragon plus Rift Herald acquired, plus the extra kill means they've got the early advantage. They will get the first Rod of Ages here. Jensen, I think he's got enough. He does have enough. He completes it. He gets it plus the Dark Seal. This is huge stuff for Dignitas. Jensen is massive, and as you know, the single win that they got was off the back of some massive Jensen performances. He's definitely set up to carry here with Cassio.
In that game, it was a game where Dignitas were able to get a very strong lead early on. They just almost threw it away, and Jensen was the clutch to secure that back into their hands. Kind of a theme from Dignitas so far on the season. They do have some pretty good early game plans. Things fall by the wayside around mid game, around late game for Dignitas, and that's where things have gotten themselves to that 1-13 scoreline so far. Contractz now looking to visit over onto this bottom side, but ships in the night, both junglers bounce into each other, but not looking to engage.
And then it goes all the way back to Champion Select, too, even. With Dignitas leaving that Aurelion Sol dangling, knowing CLG have gone back to it over and over. And Jensen being confident in his Cassio here, saving the counter pick all the way till last pick red side. And he is paying the team back. They, of course, did invest resources into him, you know, with Ignar roaming mid, and it cost them the kill onto Tomo. We'll see if mid lane ends up carrying harder, or if the bottom lane kill for Luger ends up meaning more. But look at this. Continue to funnel into Jensen. Exactly. Really trying to abuse this Aurelion Sol early game before he has had a chance to collect too much Stardust, which right now he's at 99 stacks of Stardust. So a little bit slow, honestly. That's not a very good pace here early on for the Aurelion Sol. Jensen definitely keeping the pressure on, making it difficult for him, but Poome going in.
Ooh, the knock-up onto Tomo, trying to get over to the Lantern, will flash on top of it and barely escape with his life. 200 health remained on Tomo.
Nice escape there from the Dignitas bottom lane, but you said it, that cost them a lot. Tomo will be very vulnerable now to any sort of roam plays, any sort of contract skank as well. We are 12.5 minutes, so only a little bit away from teleports becoming unleashed. We might see Dhokla actually using his right now to get back to lane, though. Ends up canceling instead, since this is not a cannon minion wave either. Doesn't want to drop any melee minions.
So far, so good for Dignitas. That pressure coming out from Jensen in the mid lane set Palafox behind. Jensen so far, pretty good lead coming out. Same with the rest of Dignitas. It's going to result in them getting some priority onto this river. They'll be the first one to the punch as they'll take the second Drake of the game. Able to secure that, and not a thing CLG can do about it.
CLG, I think right now, comms are probably, don't worry about it. Keep giving them dragons. Our dragon is actually better. We'll just keep collecting Stardust. Aurelion Sol, Palafox, give him time to scale. He's actually got the charged up ultimate right now. So he can drop the big ol' rock, if he so pleases. Collecting the Stardust. This is the way to do it. Try and get the executions with your singularity.
That ultimate, by the way, is one of the most beautiful things they've thrown in this game. Given how busted it is, Dead Sentence going to come out. Fight bringing out to the bottom lane. A beautiful flay is found, and Poome gets dropped. Dignitas still continuing the lead off of Santorin's gank in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Ignar, the big thing on playing versus Rakan, you're always trying to flay him out of the dash. Ignar getting the timing right here. Hooks on Poome, flays him out as well. Very, very big support play there from the Dignitas. All right, just gonna be forcing him off with White Gun. You see how quickly these things get chopped on down.
feels like a little bit of a different Dignitas here. I mean, having a lead early on. I wish we could have seen this and a different take earlier into the season for Dignitas, as, you know, I did talk about it. They have struggled throughout the season so far. This is not where Jensen wanted to be, especially after last year and, you know, winning with Cloud9. Now, same thing with Santorin, who had a rough split over on Golden Guardians Academy last split. But coming in here, they had high expectations for this roster. Shame it fell by the wayside, but here comes CLG looking to put more into the wounds. Luger will grab a kill.
Well, well, well. Looks like they want to make him pay for it. Teleport coming into 4v2.
Armut has arrived on the gator, looks over towards Luger. We'll be able to put the Ruthless Predator and stop him in his tracks. Another kill going over to Dignitas.
All right. Bottom lane is saying, hey, we got to accomplish something elsewhere on the map. Looks like we've got Dhokla on the top tower. He's Gragas, though, not going to be able to kill it too quickly. Armut sticking around. The greed might make him pay.
Gonna be a tough one right now. You got to lock down that crowd control, and CLG miss everything they threw at Armut. Ignar not too far off here. Look at the rest. As Dignitas, you do have Santorin in this quadrant of the jungle. Dignitas just holding control of the map from CLG.
Yeah, especially this bottom side. My goodness, it's lit up. They're able to do whatever they want transitioning between mid and bottom side of the map. Dignitas doing a very good job of continuing to snowball, continuing to control this game, despite Luger and Poome playing well and being able to get isolated 2v2 kills, or 2v1 kills actually, as they have both been. They went really deep into Dignitas territory in order to accomplish that, and Dignitas make them pay, get more on the backside. Bottom turret is dead. They rotate over to the Rift Herald just in time. And this time, CLG feel Aurelion Sol is at the point, charged up ultimate, that they actually might want to fight. All it takes is a really good Gragas ultimate to completely make these fights a different story here. If you're able to separate an isolated member right into your team, push back that big fed Cassiopeia with it at the same time, then that would be devastating for Dignitas, and they don't want to risk it at this point. So it looks like they will cede control for now over to the Rift Herald. Hex gates mean you can return pretty quickly, but might not be quick enough.
A lot of these choke points, this draft that came out of CLG, a lot of these champions thrive into those choke points, so we're going to see a fight around those choke points right now. Palafox holding the line as he'll breathe life onto the back line. Dignitas still looking to posture forward. Armut all by himself will take the lantern over to safety. Jensen waiting in the wings, sees the dragon, will sink the fangs in, but the skies descend. A great knock upon to Jensen, but it's only defensive to stop the momentum of Dignitas.
All right, Dignitas, what can you get off that? You got big health chunks. You push them out of their own jungle. They need to acquire some tower kills. Mid only takes a little bit to finish off here, but the teleport back from Palafox, and he's at the perma wave clear state now. Part of the most frustrating thing against playing against Aurelion Sol is this champion scales in terms of being able to scale quicker. His wave clear,
exponential.
Exactly, his wave clear gets better, thus allowing him to farm Stardust faster, thus allowing him to continue scaling his max health damage even quicker. And they're just gonna give up Dragon number 3, it looks like, to make a hard push towards top side.
Champion's a nightmare, man. Definitely interesting how this champion scales up and puts all that devastation onto the map. Dignitas, they didn't play for the Rift Herald, but they're still continuing with that dragon stacking win condition, and now it's going to be Dragon Soul point, back to back off the spawns.
It's going to be a nice test this game to see just what can you pull off with Aurelion Sol late, because Cassiopeia is one of the all-time really powerful scaling AP kind of machine gun mages. And Jensen is off to a really good start here. So 8 stacks already on his Rod of Ages. He'll get the extra level well before Palafox does. And you always have the extra kill threat on a Baron when you have Cassiopeia. One of her best traits is the DPS as a mage into Baron, into these neutral objectives. So being at Dragon Soul point with 3 dragons, not only does it afford you this extra pressure towards actually acquiring Dragon Soul, but Dignitas could just say, hey, CLG, go ahead. You can take that Dragon number 4. Guess what? We'll take Baron and instantly melt it with the Cassio. So this makes CLG's job in the mid game really difficult, and Dhokla's job even more difficult.
Oh, Big Doke's gonna get caught out. Santorin ganking onto the bottom lane. And Dignitas, this momentum in this game against CLG, they're continuing right now. A lot of this off of
Herald?
Santorin's ganks, getting more gold onto Armut, who has 3-0 in the scoreline.
So Xayah getting some more money here. Luger's also extremely fed. So it's not just this Aurelion Sol you're going to have to worry about with the scaling. They get the mid tower here for Luger. The charge goes off on turret number 2. Should just be a little exchange here. The charge also got off from the Rift Herald, so mid turret number 2 also heavily damaged. CLG have set up themselves to a pretty good possibility of winning a team fight at this stage in the game. However, if they don't, or if they get lazy with their vision and are unable to cover both objectives, the Baron and the 4th Dragon, then there are huge rewards possible for Dignitas right now.
It's so snappy when you have a Cassiopeia as well as an Aphelios. How well they scale towards that late stage, they take Baron oh so fast. CLG struggling for some positioning on the map. So far, it's been a lot of control coming out from Dignitas, but kind of passively losing that lead so far.
Whoa.
Gold Armut now on the flank. Tower's very low right here. CLG might look to pressure onto Dignitas in the mid. They will use that teleport to stop Dignitas from going for a dive.
And Dignitas, no. There's no reason to force anything right now. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. We get a huge divide in the map where we can put a lot of pressure on CLG with the arrival of the Dragon, being able to make them choose their positioning. And so getting out one of these key teleports, reducing CLG's ability to answer both objectives at a single time, is really good prep work done by Dignitas.
Now, they only have one teleport, as you mentioned, on Palafox. But for Dignitas, I mean, you're looking at that timer. You're watching it count down 2 minutes before the Drake does come up. And Dignitas are going to be begging CLG to try their luck. But for the time being, Dignitas will focus onto this top side before they switch their allocation. And getting those resources over for that Dragon Soul. Maybe potentially looking for a dive here on Palafox. Contractz trying to stop that, so is Poome. Too far off on the river. Will chase away the rest of Dignitas and make sure Palafox stays safe.
Yeah, the way Dig can leverage the Dragon arrival into their huge advantage here is just continually clear out this CLG vision, but they're gonna go for it.
Poome looking to go in. Here comes the engage found by CLG. Santorin getting low. Ultimate gonna be blown from Palafox, but no one going down in this fight.
They escape just with Ignar having to flash there. He has a great flash into Lantern to save Jensen, and they critically save the Cassiopeia flash for that big fight. Really big stuff here for Dignitas. Now, Ignar just has to be careful about his positioning in the fight and remain at a nice distance from both Aphelios and Cassiopeia to be able to allow them to disengage from the next attempt at the CLG fight. But that was a very nice job for Dignitas not to give up too much there in the little pincer from CLG.
And first foot on this Drake as well for Dignitas. Low health left on that mid lane tower. They could try and get a minion wave pushed in there, potentially take that tower and then pressure over to the Dragon. But they want more than the tower, Kobe. They want the fight. Santorin leading in with the permafrost. Fight not going to be found. Tower goes by the wayside, and Dignitas still holding priority on the river.
All right, the moment of truth has arrived. 20 seconds left on this Dragon. Full vision coverage here by Dignitas. They've completely blacked out the map here around Dragon. Fog of War for CLG is looking dangerous.
Oh, here we go. Santorin hops in, wants to find Contractz. Contractz on retreat. Miasma goes down, but will not block any mobility skills coming out from CLG. Still, the battle lines are drawn, and CLG are pushing them Dignitas's way. That way leads over to the Dragon, leads over to the river. Death Sentence coming out of the brush, landing on no one. Still looking for this fight, still trying to eyeball it out. Santorin right onto Dhokla, but CLG have provided enough space to not get engaged on.
That was huge. They wait out the Sejuani ultimate hook.
Oh, here we go. It lands right on the money, and Dhokla dies. Out comes the ultimate, though, from Palafox. The skies descend, and Dignitas crumble, breathing death onto Dig.
And Palafox just pops Tomo in the river. 2v1 Aurelion Sol, ladies and gentlemen. That is CLG winning the critical team fight. They gave up 3 dragons in a row. All they want to do is collect the Stardust. Dignitas going to teleport back out, though. They still want this dragon.
Oh, Armut is here. Ignar is pretty low.
Junglers.
Jensen hasn't lost too much health. Poome on the flank. Here comes Palafox. Able to breathe the light right onto the Gator. Armut will go golden. Pops that stopwatch. Jensen still putting in the fangs. A lot of damage going on to Poome, but he will slide out. Palafox still getting chased by the snake. Provides enough distance. CLG, they really want this dragon. They don't want to give the Dragon Soul over to Dignitas.
They certainly don't, and they want to get it off the map quickly enough that Dig can't go over to Baron. They will be able to get it. Dhokla teleported out. CLG have passed the pivotal point in this game. They successfully defend Dragon number 4, deny the soul, while also not giving up Baron territory for themselves. It was already waiting out the Sejuani ult. Now Sejuani ult's not there, so CLG moved back up. They're happy to sacrifice Dhokla. The Gragas is the meat they sacrifice for a huge, grouped up meteor that destroyed the dinosaurs from Palafox here. Right on top of the singularity as well. You just saw him annihilate the Sejuani, and then look at that last pop there from the Breath of Light with the full channel onto Tomo. Just killed the Aphelios as well. And I have to say, it's also critical how well Luger and Poome did early on in this game. For the Xayah to be this big of a threat in addition to the Aurelion Sol, that's why they could not jump on him on the bottom side of that team fight. Luger pushing up through the top side with the Blade Caller is almost as dangerous as this level 16 Aurelion Sol. All right, not almost as dangerous, still really scary, but level 16 Aurelion Sol, Palafox now is really going to start collecting.
I mean, that's Luger for you. He does these incredibly aggressive plays. Now Jensen finds one with the Petrifying Gaze. Ooh. Chain of CC from Jensen. Santorin linking up with the combo.
This is clean. 30-second window now for Dignitas. 5v4, extra person advantage. Aurelion Sol can wave clear so effectively. That means it's really hard to push even with an extra person advantage. And so Dig might be forced into trying to bait them over towards Baron or something. I guess they're just gonna settle for vision. Yeah, Aurelion Sol, annihilate those minions. Doesn't matter.
Disappears so fast. Let's see right there. Still keeping up in farm is gonna be Jensen. One of the higher points of Dignitas in this game so far with that 2-0-2 score line. Scaling that a Cassiopeia brings will be something to reckon with as we get into the later stages. And I mean, we're already heading in that direction right now. 27 minutes into this game. A lot of this dance is starting to rotate around this Baron. But 2 minutes and 40 seconds before the Drake comes up and Dignitas dare CLG once again.
I think CLG might be willing to take the dare now.
Oh, yeah.
Rylai's is finished for Palafox as well. So now you get slowed even further. The Breath of Light chase down kills are going to be more plentiful. Very scary stuff to deal with here. And let me check on the execution threshold of the Singularity. It's up to 13% of your max health. That is so incredibly dangerous.
And it's only going to get worse, man. CLG now in this top side of the jungle, and Dignitas are on the hunt. Let me chase CLG underneath this tower. It's still Dhokla and Contractz. It's not the easiest duo to dive right now.
Yeah.
So Dignitas, they're only making their presence felt. They got a lot of deep wards in there. They've lit up that top quadrant like Christmas as they dance around Baron.
Exactly. They got a lot of vision. They got a lot of setup. But they know if we pin ourselves at Baron, we are setting up for a catastrophic Aurelion Sol ultimate that will be game winning. So it's just so difficult for Dig. That's why everyone has such a frustrating time playing against Aurelion Sol. It's hard to push because his wave clear is insane. And then it's also hard to do neutral objectives to pull him out into the map because they're in the pit, and then he has a big AoE ult that's going to be able to blow up the entire squad. And so now for Dig, it's problem-solving time. What can we actually do? I would say try and make a pick on someone in a side lane. Try and make a really hard push here. And the vision that they set up in this deep quadrant over by Baron is the first step in trying to do that. So maybe they can leverage Ignar roaming over to actually follow up on some Santorin engage. Because as of right now, it's getting more and more dangerous, and CLG are just retaking territory. They do finally get the top turret here for Dignitas, but another dragon is spawning. Another opportunity for Dignitas to split CLG.
CLG setting up in the mid lane 30 seconds before that dragon does come down. And there's another dragon that's going to be at that fight. That's going to be Palafox. Mentioning just how big that ultimate is. Man, it takes up so much space. It provides so much control of the map. Teleport coming out from Armut. Looks like just the play to be made over on the side of Dignitas. They really want to contest with this Drake. Ultimate gonna come out of Santorin, lands on the Dhokla. That's a big engage tool down for Dignitas.
Yeah, that's gonna be an instant start on Dragon for CLG, I believe. They can just have one person solo the Dragon. The rest of the CLG team should harass Dignitas to make sure they can't make that trade that we've been talking about all game long. The Dragon number. Oh, they're actually going to go for the fight here. Shirelius.
Oh, caught out. They're on to Dhokla. Dhokla's able to slide out. Now still 5 strong is Dignitas. They're continuing right now, but here comes Armut, tries to find Dhokla. Dhokla goes down, already one picked up, but the skies descend and eviscerate Dignitas. Leading the charge is Luger with the Featherstorm, but Armut is there to turn this around, and Dignitas, they will not be felt by the Meteor to end the ages. They'll bring the fight right back to counter launch.
They did it! They did it! Luger went too far forward on the Xayah. He doesn't use his flash to get out of range. He goes down. Palafox is the only one now.
Oh, Armut's getting low.
One dragon versus the world, and the dragon might win.
Wait, no way. Palafox looking to take this. Armut flashes. He can't get the Ruthless Predator on Palafox, but finally Jensen is here. Palafox will make that distance, will make that space, but he's bought a lot of time. Unfortunately, not enough, as Dignitas will secure Baron.
They did it. They did it. The Baron empowered recalls allow them to reset, and they can go towards the Dragon Soul possibility. CLG, Hex Gates though. Hex Gates are way quicker to get over to Dragon. Oh man, I'm actually very curious about live about this setup for the Dragon. Hex Gates means your reset is even faster. CLG do have Poome getting vision for them at least. Here's another look at the team fight as well. You do get the big ultimate, but Dhokla's already down. And then look how deep they go into it. The Guardian Angel, never mind, let's get back to live. Guardian Angel means a Crocodile respawned behind Luger, and then he was too far forward. And so without the Xayah, the supporting carry here for CLG, it was just the Dragon, and that is not enough, it turns out.
Yeah, that was a tough spot for Luger. You need to get that DPS in, but you also need to respect where Armut is. Good thing for him is that Guardian Angel is going to be down this time around. CLG posturing up around the Drake, getting it critically low. Contractz looking to secure the smite. Secure it he will. Featherstorm comes out, able to drop a star over to Dignitas, but not going to find too much else, as CLG will secure the Drake and make haste.
All right, another successful Dragon defense for CLG. They may have lost the Baron, but they were still able to recover the Dragon. Towers are just going to melt at this point. With Baron on Dignitas, they should be able to at least get some extra money out of the Baron power play that they have gotten for themselves. 1 minute, 30 seconds left on that. Bottom side tower here, the next target, as Armut moves in the minions.
Rotating back and forth from that mid, from that bottom. Tomo securing that tower, and that's another tier 2 falling by the wayside. 2 down, 1 more to go, and Dignitas will take a reset to start setting up for that top lane tier 2.
I'm surprised they didn't actually continue to have Palafox farm those bottom minions. Palafox is roaming up with the team, so they want to make some move here towards topside instead. They'll come collect some more Stardust off these ones, allowing Dhokla to finish up bottom side. He has his Unleashed teleport ready. Hexgate is active, and it's being used by Armut once again to enter CLG territory.
Dignitas holding control, 5.5k lead, 33 minutes into this game. Still got a little bit before we get our next Baron. 30 seconds left on that Red Bull Baron buff that was secured earlier by Dignitas. So not going to have much in the way of neutrals. It's up to Dignitas to set up the map and continue taking structures.
Enemies in the center of Singularity below 15.5% of your maximum HP are executed instantly.
That's disgusting.
And that is going to continue to get worse.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Very scary stuff here. Dignitas trying to use the last remnants of their Baron pushing power.
Aurelion Sol's not okay, man.
We'll see about that. What can Dig do? They've got a fed Cassio.
Oh, whiffing the ultimate Santorin. Not gonna land it. Oh, but the death sentence lands and it's right on a Palafox. Ultimate gonna come out from Palafox, able to land a 5-man knock-up, and 2 fall for Dignitas as CLG press the gas pedal right through the damn car and take out Dig.
Oh, Contractz wants some more. Poome's gonna take a little route around the riverside as well. It's dangerous to chase these carries, but Dig have Hex Gates from Dhokla into a Blast Cone from Dhokla. They've got him surrounded.
Nowhere for Jensen and Tomo to go. Their screen is going to be black and white in a matter of seconds. The setup for CLG, and this is so painful right here because they're staggering those death timers on both of the carries for Dignitas. Still, the line's going to be drawn. You got to give some respect to the damage that these two carries do bring in. And on the blink of an eye, they're going to go for the engage. Jensen and Tomo looking to bring it. Out comes a Featherstorm, but both carries will fall. It costed CLG Poome, and that is going to be a cleaned up fight for CLG.
Yeah, they wiped them once again. Palafox does not die in the engage, even starting out with a death sentence on the dragon. He tanks it, he gets his ult off. Look at how quickly he's able to get the ult off as soon as he's out of it. They were unable to chain CC Palafox because the Sejuani ultimate is used right now. Now that the Sejuani's ult is not there, CLG move back up. There's nothing to CC him out of the death sentence, so he got his ult off. The giant 5-person ultimate here with the shockwave, with the knockup, annihilates them. They get burned down, they get executed. Then this teleport is a little bit troll because there's nowhere really Dig were gonna go, and they still kind of had to wait for Palafox to get here. But it doesn't matter because there's nowhere for Dig to go anyways. And then Contractz is like, I am done waiting, flashes in even for the arrival of the Aurelion Sol. And as you said, the only sacrifice really is Poome in the addition of the extra teleport cooldown, which is coming up pretty quickly anyway.
Silver linings for Dignitas losing out on that fight. There were no major objectives up at the time. So Dignitas are now back on the map, and we have 45 seconds pretty much for both of them, that Dragon as well as the Baron. Dignitas gonna have their pick of the litter onto this one, but right now CLG are looking strong.
They certainly are. We are up to 17.7% execution threshold on the Singularity. To me, you can tell I'm a little frustrated by that particular part. That particular part of the champion. Dignitas, though, they're going to funnel in towards that dragon with the extra vision control. They've got the control ward down. Jensen.
Careful here. Oh, ultimate gonna come out. Able to get the knock up onto 3. CLG destroy Tomo. That's both your carries down, man. Dignitas can't do a thing in this fight.
Yeah, all right. CLG are too far ahead now. They bring down the rock. They bring down Dig. CLG will get Dragon number 3 for themselves, as well as be able to push out. Baron is on the table. They can grab the Dragon, go over to Baron. Both Dignitas carries are dead. Really, the world is your oyster.
It certainly is. They've now made it over to Dragon Soul Point. Now Dignitas playing around that neutral for oh so long. They're able to get over to that point and haven't claimed another Drake since, but now CLG aren't content with Dragon Soul Point. They want to grab the Red Bull Baron as well, and Santorin racing that position. 3k health remains. Santorin looking for a steal, but Dhokla will deny it.
Dhokla doing what he's done best this game, soak up skill shots.
Hey, that's big dokes for you.
Hit him with another one. He likes it.
Take it on the chin, walk it right off. There ain't no problem for Big Dokes, and problems now starting to cease to be for CLG. They will be the ones with the gold lead, 1.5k in their pocket.
Whew. All right, I'm gonna check on Palafox money. What is he saying now? Okay, so of that total CLG gold, 16,500 gold in the hands of the deathless Aurelion Sol.
Luger does damage, man, and Armut, feeling a lot of that, will get knocked down to 1/3 of his HP by the marks from the CLG.
Yeah, the CLG bottom lane doing so much work early on in this game.
Yeah.
Really a big part of why they are right here on the precipice of taking down Dignitas, moving themselves up to 8 wins, a very, very comfortable position, looking towards playoffs. Really big stuff here for CLG, who are the only LCS team that opted to keep their same roster from last year.
All right, now CLG setting up onto this bottom lane tier 2. Dignitas will try to defend, but it's a Baron empowered push. Palafox is in the mid lane right now.
There's a dragon on the loose.
Wave.
There's a dragon on the loose and he's going mid.
Man, we got gators on loose, we got snakes on the loose. There's animals all over the place right now in Dignitas. They're the ones who are doing the responding. As already that mid lane turret's gonna go down by Palafox. The attention of Dignitas was set over to that bottom lane. And now, nope, one tower's not enough. Let's try and get two and see if we can keep Dignitas locked down in the bottom lane while Palafox goes banking.
Yeah, he's banking Stardust, all right. 19%! I'm just counting down the time, baby. That thing becomes an Elder Dragon buff.
It is the eldest dragon code.
Truly, truly, truly.
I love that ultimate though. Just visually, I personally love it. I feel like that should have been Soraka's original.
I'm just gonna watch the
Starfall.
mini map next time the Aurelion Sol ults, just to see how giant this shockwave is.
Take a look at that, Ignar, with a death sentence.
Oh, baby.
Here it comes. Maybe the mini map didn't see too much over there.
Yeah. That wasn't a charged up one.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
That was a regular.
It's just the falling
That was
star.
a baby comment, okay?
That one didn't wipe out the dinosaurs.
That meteor is not killing anything. The tower is rubble, though.
I got something. Throw stars on the people is one of the things I've loved to watch recently in League. Thanks, Riot. Some people will be very mad at that comment for sure.
Oh, no. The timing on this one. I don't think it's theirs to throw anymore. Unfortunate.
It does throw me back to that EG game because it was a game where Dignitas did get a strong lead early and then it fell apart. Jensen had to find those comeback plays. Yeah. The thing is, Cassiopeia is not the Azir, very much more flat.
Oh, little picky.
Ignar caught out there will have to use his flash to get away, and hope's dwindling for Dignitas.
All right, time for Ignar to make a big Hex flash play now.
Yeah.
Let's see it. All right, next big rock. Ready to drop it here. Now we're charged up for Palafox. CLG, pretty straight shot towards finishing this game. Push out mid, push out bottom, just collapse then back to your Dragon Soul. You've got Aurelion Sol. Now you can get Dragon Soul in 45 seconds. It's a really good one too. Hex Dragon is my actual favorite, and it's gonna go a long way in this one. Wow, Palafox isn't even gonna head on over there for it. He sees more Stardust. More Stardust, more scaling. Gimme, gimme, gimme.
At this point, he's full build, so the only way to scale more is through Stardust. Palafox.
Oh, the scaling, please stop. It's over 20% execution now.
Absolute threat on this map. CLG, hold position over the river. 15 seconds before Dragon spawns, and that team fight timer is ticking down. It feels like Dignitas feel a definite sense of urgency to take this.
I would say so. Emergency for Dignitas.
Ooh, Santorin wants to find an engage. Lands the ultimate only onto Dhokla. Palafox on the flank. Tomo's gonna chase him down. Over the wall, Palafox will go, and Tomo is empty-handed. One gonna drop by the side. CLG losing one, but Dignitas looking for more suddenly. They might have some momentum on their side. They gotta keep Tomo safe, but keep in mind, Tomo has no flash. Jensen can clutch this out. CLG are too low. They're not going to take this fight anymore, but look at this Hex Gate coming out from Armut. Has the flank right now, walks over to where Luger is, hops onto Contractz, but Luger does too much damage. Feathers fly, popping out the Guardian Angel and securing the Drake. Dignitas will get it into their pocket. CLG, they tried to deny it. They denied 3 in a row, but Dignitas finally get Dragon Soul.
Dignitas still have life left in them. Dragon Soul acquired in time for the next Baron fight. 30 seconds. You like that one? We're gonna get another rematch right after. Here's another look at how it started out. Aurelion Sol ult down. Tomo flashes over onto Palafox though. So look at this dragon. He got pushed out of the fight so early. Really heads up stuff from Tomo. For an AD carry to flash out of the Aurelion Sol into the Aurelion Sol's face, chunk him down, force him out of the flash, and you don't see it right now, but Palafox's recall goes off right here, so the dragon's not there anymore. So then Dig are able to win this fight. Aurelion Sol's in base, flying back. They already killed the Rakan. And That is snowballing into a Baron. Contractz, can he get there for a steal? He has ultimate.
Oh, no way. Dignitas, they get the Baron, but is this fight gonna belong to CLG? Ultimate gonna come out from Santorin over the wall. Dhokla will fall.
Oh, that was big.
Pulling him right back in, and Palafox will breathe light onto the back of their necks and make them suffer. Go away! Tomo turns it around, finds a triple kill, and Dignitas, every time you count them out, they bring it right back.
Dignitas are doing it! The Dignitas Baron is going to be a dub here. Dignitas with the Hex Dragon. They're going to push 2 lanes now. You see Jensen went immediately for bottom side where the minions were the furthest. They just need minions up to these inhibitor towers. 40 seconds on the death timers here for CLG. Dhokla, the only one alive. Jensen, really good heads up teleport play from him so that they can get this push off before the death timers are there. Just go tank the turret, rush in there, kill that inhibitor. You've got 20 seconds before the dragon gets up. Burn this thing down.
I'm watching a
22.
rerun right now, Kobe. This feels very much like that Evil Geniuses game. Oh, now coming for it. They need to take down Dhokla. That would be a massive stagger death timer. Already one Nexus Tower gonna go down. Poome looking to get the disengage for Dhokla, but Dhokla is dead. Oh, Dignitas, they've taken the second Nexus, and you wanted it. They need to double their wins. They need to beat CLG. Dig will do just that.
Dignitas defeat late game Aurelion Sol.
At a time where it matters so much for CLG to be picking in these wins, securing themselves over to playoffs. Dig wanting to play spoiler right here, getting their second win of the regular season against Aurelion Sol that was scaling to the high heavens, Kobe.
And I gotta give so much credit to Tomo.
Yes.
Put onto this roster in a failing position. He got pulled up. Please save us. He flashes on the Aurelion Sol in the critical team fight for Dragon Soul. He pushes Palafox out. Dignitas win the fight. They get the Soul. They get the Baron afterwards. They win